This video's title is Frank Madrano Real. Somebody sent me a message about this dude, and I found out about the guy because one of the guys that I'm training sent me a video, and he's like, this is right up your alley, reminds me of you, whatever. And I watched the guy's video, and that's the first time that I found out about the guy. And then another guy that I'm training mentioned him as well. And then that was the extent of it. I haven't seen any other videos. I haven't seeked out to watch any other videos. I only saw that one video of all these superhuman exercise demos that he was doing. And I should give my feedback about it. I mean, it's kind of like the same feedback as I gave to Hannibal. I think that, one of the guys that I was training comparing him to Hannibal, saying that he thinks this guy's better than Hannibal, whatever. But I think that it's just that, like, people like Hannibal and people like this guy, I mean, there's gonna be people out there that are trying to get notice, get fame, and there's a lot of competition even in this realm. Just like competitive bodybuilding, you see how crazy it gets, and it is clear that all these competitive bodybuilders, Mr. Olympians and all of them, they're on the steroids. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that's clearly obvious. They're not allowed to admit it, and if they do admit it, it's not going to benefit them. It just puts into jeopardy everything that they win, their awards. They come into public scrutiny, and basically people lose respect for them, and they have nothing to gain, everything to lose for them. Basically, for them to admit that they're on steroids, but we know that they're on steroids. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger admitted that he was on steroids. Sylvester Stallone admitted he was on steroids, and just a lot of people that are on it. As far as this guy's concerned, to me, he's just another version of Hannibal. I'm pretty sure that he watched Hannibal's videos and felt like, you know what, I'm going to try to top this guy. And then went into some, I don't know, but, Hannibal and this guy, in my opinion, I feel that they're on steroids. And a lot of other people out there in general. You watch some of these steroid documentaries, more and more the average type of person is on steroids. It doesn't even have to be a professional athlete anymore. A lot of people out of high school are on steroids. They're talking about this high school pitcher that's on steroids. A lot of these high school football players are on steroids. People in high school on steroids, people in college on steroids, people in the Olympics on steroid. I've heard Carl Lewis, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds, all these people are on steroids. Even Lance Armstrong was caught on steroids and admitted to being on the steroids. And he's just a biker. I mean, just think about how many people are on this. And look at the fame and the attention and the money that they get. For many, it's worth the risk. And for these people that are just making these homemade videos, there's nobody there to regulate them. I mean, you can even order steroids. I was watching these documentaries. You can even order steroids online, and these homemade videos from these people like Hannibal and this guy, this Frank Madrano guy, nobody's there to stop them from using it. I mean, they have all to benefit from it, than anything. I mean, to them it's worth it. Getting all this attention. Even they get to make money off of YouTube and off of these videos, that they make. And, this video is just, it's just too calculated. It's too much perfected. It's like it was basically put together by a professional. I mean, he probably looks like he hired some professional to put together the video to make everything like perfect. And when it comes to anything like that, it's questionable because, I mean, not just the aspect of the steroids, but just things in general, because it's just like a movie, like a movie like Matrix. you know, and like everything is, you know, it's not just about acting, but it's about computer technology, it's about CGI, and it's about like basically like tricking a person's eye. You know, when it comes to like making things so perfect, many things become questionable. I mean, you look at movies like 300. You know, I mean, they use a lot of CGI to like make this film that has all these special graphics and you know, just like special effects. So basically, what I'm saying is that like I'm not saying that this is the case, but it's potentially something that people can do where they where they falsify things by putting special effects, and because it's a video that could be thoroughly edited to the point where it's like, I mean, you could like change the background to make it seem like he's at one place when he's really somewhere else, or you know, change things with, you know, I mean, they had a video out there like Photoshop, like Adobe Photoshop, and the power of a Photoshop had this female that looked like average, ugly pretty much, and then they turned her into like a supermodel like that, like cutting her hips and everything and doing all these curves. And I mean, it's just like this is the same thing that you could do with the video, you know. It just takes more of that expertise and knowing how to use a certain program, and then you can make things appear as if it's real when it's not. I mean, it's just a video. I mean, magicians are even able to trick the human eye, you know, live in person on a stage. Imagine how many people could trick a person's eye through the use of video. Just because it's on YouTube doesn't mean that it's real, especially when it's so calculated and everything's so much perfected the way it is. I mean, you could literally, I mean, just like in the movies, they have like wires that they could like make people like look like they're flying when they're not. When it comes to video, for example, I mean, I've done this myself. It wasn't intentionally to falsify something, but you know, there would be like a lowered basketball rim, like say it's 9 feet tall, and then you dunk in a 9-foot rim. In video, it doesn't, you don't know if it's a 9-foot rim. It looks like a 10-foot rim, you know. But in actuality, it's not 10 feet. It's lower than that, you know. So there's ways of like manipulating the reality with videos, and they do it all the time, not just with videos but magazines and all sorts of things, you know. So like for example, another thing that they could do, you know, like the person's bench pressing. I mean, they could put on weights that look like it's 45 plates on each side, but it's actually not. I mean, they got bumper plates that look like they're 45 pounds, but then they're actually like half the weight of the real. You know what I mean? You can make things appear as if like it's realistic when it's not. Okay, and then there's the whole steroids factor. You know what I mean? But aside from all that, I mean, if this guy is able to do these things with pure effort and hard work in itself, then yeah, it's admirable. It's something where, hey, you know, good job. You know what I'm saying? But it's just very questionable in this very fake society that we live in. And you got all these people in the media that have been caught taking steroids, and people that admitted taking steroids. I would be surprised if this person's on steroids, or if he has somebody mimic with, you know, these videos and edits and just changing things and making it seem like he could do certain things when he can't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for example, you know, you do so much editing. I mean, you could hold a human flag, and then they can edit the video. He only holds it for 5 seconds. And then they edit the video so precisely that it makes it seem like he held it for like 5 minutes, when in actuality it was only 5 seconds. You know, I mean, same thing, you know, you doing a pull-up, and then they could edit the video in so perfected, make it seem like he's moving in slow motion, when in actuality he's just doing a regular pull-up at regular speed. But then they mimic with the video to make it seem like it's like super slow, and he's actually moving like he's in slow motion when he's not. Same thing with, when you're watching movies, people doing a regular punch, and then they just speed it up to make it look like he punched faster than he really did. People say they're trying to break 10 bricks, lined up in a video. Well, they could very easily just basically cut slits in the bricks and then make it like half as strong, and then put it there to make it seem like it's really like the real brick, but in actuality they just basically prearranged the bricks to make them weaker, and then go ahead and hit it now. And then he hits it and they all break. Well, here they manipulated with the bricks. You understand? And it's just all stuff that clearly can be done to falsify. And really, when they make a video so perfect, like when it's so much edited by professional, I mean, it even makes it even more of a chance that it's not real. But like for example, but a lot of Hannibal's videos, they're not edited. They're just like, some of his videos, I mean, they're just like, quote unquote ghetto videos where it's just somebody just having a regular ass camcorder filming him, and it's all shaky and blurry, and then he's doing all this stuff. That video, for example, is not like a professionally edited video. It's just like as is, just a raw video, and then he's just doing this stuff and like, whoa, that's pretty cool. But in something like this, it's like a professionally done video, like he paid out money, like say $2,000 to some guy to make this perfect video for him. And when you make something perfect, so perfect, it just increases the chances that it's not a real, like it's not real stuff. Like there could be some manipulation going on, as far as like, like I said, everything that I stated before, the slowing down of certain things through editing, and just basically maybe strings are being used and things like that to assist them. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of different things in addition to the steroids, obvious, and that to me is just a given. I mean, you see, there's a lot of people out there that are just doing some crazy ass stuff, but it's more of the technology rather than the human effort. For example, like, you got back in the day somebody like Socrates was very smart, like reading a lot of books, but nowadays it's like everybody's dependent on the internet and then like Wikipedia or something like that. So, people, you got somebody back in the past who might be able to be like a human calculator, but nowadays they just depend on the calculator. So back in the day it was just like people work hard, just pure hard work, but now a lot of people are strung up on steroids. And it's kind of very difficult to prove like who's on it and who's not. But you got some of these people like Ronnie Coleman, he's just like freaking like humongously jacked up, claiming that he's not on steroids. I mean, really? It's like, the reason why, because it's against the law, of course, people are not going to admit it. Because they're pretty much admitting a crime. But that people are on it. So many people have been caught, from the Olympics to the professional, to the collegiate, to the high school, to the regular person on the street. Who's going to stop the regular person on the street from taking steroids? You could literally order it from the internet. You know what I'm saying? So there's just so much things that are so unreal out there. And when the guy sent it to me, the stuff that he could do is cool, but what difference does it make if it's not even real? And how are you supposed to even know if it's real? And it's like, to me, it's just not, when people are doing like things that are false, it's not an inspiration to me. Because in a way that they're cheating. You know what I'm saying? But who is to say? Who is to say that this guy is cheating? Who is to say that Lance Armstrong is cheating? But it took so much work for them to prove it. They had to take him through court and go through all this drama to finally get him to admit it. But who in their own, who's gonna actually like admit it to people? Oh, I'm on steroids. No, they're gonna hide that fact to get all the fame and all the glory and all the money and all the attention, to make it seem as if it's real when it's not. And really, people are men are on steroids I would say as common as women are getting breast implants. Because, you know, so many women have breast implants out there, and it's making it very difficult for the women that have, you know, regular breasts to compete with these women that have the breast implants or the plastic surgery. So the men are basically just, they're on steroids as much as the women are on the breast, you know, getting the breast implants. You know, and like, we live in such a fake society right now that I refuse to put my energies into paying attention to what other people are doing. I mean, really, I wouldn't be searching out for videos like this, but somebody sent it to me and I ended up seeing it. And after I saw it, it wasn't an inspiration, because to me, it was just another version of the Hannibal. Not much of a difference. He maybe did a few extra little cool stuff that's not you know. There's a lot of people doing all the same stuff. I mean, there's a bunch of people doing human flags now, a bunch of people trying to do the front levers, a bunch of people trying to do one-arm pull-ups, you know. Everybody's trying to do the same stuff now, 90-degree push-ups. I mean, that's cool, you know. But fact of the matter is, let's try to do it ourselves. And when we do it ourselves, we can find out we know for a fact what's real. Only you know for a fact whether or not you're on steroids or you're not. Only you know for a fact whether or not you are truly exercising and not cheating, and you're really working hard. You're putting in your hours, you know, lifting weights, exercising, and you're really training yourself hard. You're not cheating. Only you know. You know, and I say that we should use ourselves as a gauge to see, you know, to see where our potential can be. You know, I refuse to focus too much on other people and what they could do. We can focus on what we can do. And, you know, other people that achieve certain things through, you know, real hard work and not cheating and steroids and manipulations and stuff like that, hey, you know, we can use it as inspiration. But, you know, I even heard the people that in 300, their six-packs weren't even real. They were, like, shadowed in. They were, like, painted in. You know, airbrushed or whatever the case may be. I mean, there's just so much fake stuff out there that is unbelievable. You know, and, like, because so many people are on steroids now, it's not even about, like, oh, you know, who actually trains hard legitimately. It's like, oh, you know, this is what could happen to a human being if he's on steroids. Someone like a Ronnie Coleman, somebody like this guy, or somebody like a Hannibal, or, you know, a Lance Armstrong. Like somebody, okay, how fast could somebody ride a bike if they're on steroids? You know, how fast could somebody run the 100-meter dash if they're on steroids? You know what I mean? It's just everything out there is very questionable to me, because we live in such a false society. You know, it's extremely questionable. You know, and that's the way I see it. You know what I mean? But I mean, if this guy actually did do all this stuff with his you know, hard training, that's great. You know, but there's a lot of other people doing great things as well. I mean, I don't really care to just give one person all the credit. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people out there doing great things. You see a lot of people in the Olympics doing great things. Michael Jordan did great things. LeBron James is doing great things. A lot of people in the NBA, a lot of people in other sports. I mean, Hannibal could do great things. This guy could do great things. And, you know, there's a lot of people doing great things. Bruce Lee doing great things. Jet Li doing great things. I mean, like, I feel that, you know, we shouldn't put too much, like, idolize too many people and just see the talents within different people. Even Tupac, great things. You know what I'm saying? It's just talent in different areas. It's not just all about, oh, you know, who's the most fit, okay, that's it. You know what I mean? Let's, you know, see the talent within each individual. You know, and one thing that I think is silly, too, is like, I did see that this guy had a few million views, which is great. But, I mean, look at all the stuff he had to do to get a few million views. And then I look at a video from, like, say, Miley Cyrus, which is freaking, like, ridiculous-ass Wrecking Ball video, has, like, hundreds of millions of views. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. And then, like, Justin Bieber has, like, billions of views on his music video. And look at what he's doing. He's not even, like, doing anything physical. You know, and then, like, a woman just, like, flashes her titties and then she has, like, millions of views. I mean, it's just, like, this guy doing all this crazy stuff, and then just gets, yeah, he's got a few million, but like I'm just saying that like people pay attention to the craziest things, you know, and it's like people are fighting for money, people are fighting for fame, you know, and if you could it seemed, you know, people out there are not even doing half as much effort getting so much more fame, so much more money. The world is just weird like that. You know, so I say that we should be training not to make other people happy, but to train for our own health and to reach our potential and to just be real about it. You know, I respect people that are just honest with what they do. Hey, you know what? This is what I could do, but I'm on steroids, and that's part of the reason why I could do what I could do. Like, for example, there's this one guy who pretty much, like, I think he broke the record for, like, the NFL, like, power combine or something like that, where the goal was basically to bench press 225 pounds as many times as you can, and I think the record was 48, and this guy was going for 50, and he did like 54 times, and he just admitted he was on steroids. He was like, yeah, I'm on steroids, but I could do 225 54 times, and he just did it on video, and it's just a raw video, just like a, you know, raw video. It's not like all edited and stuff like that, like how this guy's video was, and he was honest about it. He said, I'm on steroids, boom, this is what I could do. I'm on steroids. When I wasn't on steroids, this is what I was able to do. Now that I'm on steroids, this is what I could do now. That I respect that honesty. You know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't find that quite often. A lot of people would hide that fact. No, I ain't on steroids, I ain't nothing. Then they act like everything's all natural. I don't respect that at all. You know, I feel that people should just be honest with what they're on and what they do. But that's just my view on it in general. But yeah, if this guy's real, that's great. If he's not, then hey, just another dude strung up on steroids is doing some crazy stuff, just like Ronnie Coleman and, you know, Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lance Armstrong, Barry Bonds, and Sammy Sosa, and just like a bunch of other people out there, which I don't pay any attention to.